You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. So much to get to and unpack on today's show about Jimmy Garoppolo and J.C. Jackson. More quarterback movement in the National Football League as we are just days away from NFL free agency. Just moments ago, the Indianapolis Colts traded away Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders. That now opens up an avenue for the 49ers to trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll get to those reports coming up here in just a few moments. First, let's get to the trade details between Indy and Washington. Adam Schefter was first on the news saying this on Twitter. Colts are trading Carson Wentz to Washington for a package of picks that is thought to include 2 third-round picks, sources tell ESPN. Here are the official trade terms as of right now, and of course, all of this information is fluid. The Colts get a 2022 third-round pick, as well as a 2023 third-round pick that can become a second if Carson Wentz plays 70% of his snaps, kind of like that trade between the Eagles and the Colts that brought Wentz to Indy last year. And then the Washington Commanders get Carson Wentz and a 2022 second-round pick. So that is a pick swap in that deal between Indy and Washington. And this is really fascinating for a couple of reasons, because now the Indianapolis Colts are a win-now team in need of a quarterback who can help them get back to the playoffs, and Garoppolo can do that for this football team. What's interesting as well is that Washington is going to pay the full $28 million due to Carson Wentz this year, which includes a $5 million roster bonus due next week. From now on, it is Commander Carson, and the drama of Wentz going back to the NFC East, where he will now play the Philadelphia Eagles, his former team, twice a year, is going to be epic. As far as where Garoppolo enters the equation, Ian Rapoport said this: the Commanders called on every quarterback, and they end up with Wentz on the Colts in exchange for those picks. They weren't going to wait for Jimmy Garoppolo. They didn't land Russell Wilson. Now they end up with Carson Wentz. And it looks as though the Colts are very invested about the thought of bringing Garoppolo in from San Francisco to Indianapolis. Rapoport saying the Colts have now entered the quarterback race again and expect them to be in the mix for Jimmy Garoppolo, And then Jordan Schultz just moments ago, as we continue to unpack all of these wild rumors, the Colts will, quote, strongly consider Jimmy Garoppolo as they pursue a new starting quarterback, a league source says. Now, I understand that Garoppolo is a polarizing figure within the Niner gang, and the feelings on Garoppolo are mixed. So I do want to ask you this question as far as the future for Garoppolo and what you think he can get back in a trade. So let me know in the comment section right now if Garoppolo can get more back than Carson Wentz did when you look at that package that we just discussed. M for more, L for less. You let me know. And if you want a reminder as far as what the Colts are getting back for Carson Wentz, and conversely on the other side for the Washington Commanders, here it is right now. So get into the comment section right now. M for more, L for less, and this is why you subscribe to the channel. Free agency right around the corner. And yesterday we brought you the latest on Aaron Rodgers, the latest on Russell Wilson. Now we're breaking down these Garoppolo rumors to the Indianapolis Colts. We're doing it all here on the channel, so join the faithful family here at Chat Sports by hitting that red subscribe button down below. As far as Jimmy Garoppolo to the Indianapolis Colts, what have I been saying over the last couple of weeks? Win-now teams make the most sense for Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade. And the Indianapolis Colts right now are ready to compete for a playoff spot, and they're ready to chase a Super Bowl because they have a very well-rounded roster. And we know that Garoppolo as a thrower and as an athlete is somewhat limited, and he needs complementary pieces around him. The Indianapolis Colts have that good surrounding core for Jimmy Garoppolo. One of the best running backs in the NFL, the reigning rushing champion in Jonathan Taylor, who's a superb back who can run the football and catch it out of the backfield. They have a very good offensive line, paced by Quentin Nelson, who defines nasty. They have a talented defense led by one of the best linebackers in the league in Darius Leonard. Frank Reich has shown throughout his entire coaching career he's a very good developer of quarterbacks, and the Colts right now, by trading away Carson Wentz, can absorb Jimmy Garoppolo's cap hit. As for what that cap number is, Carson Wentz's cap figure going into 2022, $28.2 million. Jimmy Garoppolo's cap number coming in a tad lower at $26.9 million. I think Garoppolo is somewhat underrated. He plays really well at the end of games. He has that clutch gene in him. And by going to the Indianapolis Colts, he can utilize the play action that Frank Reich likes in his offense. He has a very good running back. He can get protected by that good offensive line and a good complementary defense as well. So when you canvass the landscape for teams that should be interested in Jimmy Garoppolo and where he fits, the Colts are atop that list in addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, do you want Garoppolo to succeed elsewhere if the Niners decide to trade him away and move forward with Trey Lance or, I don't know, maybe Tom Brady at this point, given how crazy this offseason is already? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Once again, get that comment section popping. Today's show presented to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. And with the NCAA tournament right around the corner, it's a great opportunity to sign up by using that link down below, chatsports.com/49bet, and enter that promo code Niners125. You put in $100, automatically you get $125 back on top of that. It's $225 to game with during the NCAA tournament, which in my opinion, the second best sporting event of the year after the Super Bowl. March Madness odds and the teams leading to win the national championship, Gonzaga at plus 450, Arizona at plus 650, Kentucky Wildcats at plus 650 as well, Duke Blue Devils in Coach K's final year, 10-1 odds, and then the Baylor Bears, 11-1 odds. I kind of like those odds. Now, if you're familiar with Thomas Mott, used to host the 49ers Report before me. He's a Baylor homer. I'm not going to lie, though, Producer Jeremy. I like those 11-1 odds. You put down $1 for the reigning national champions, and if they win, you get $11 back. Not bad, but if you want to body Thomas Mott in the comment section, feel free to do that. From Jimmy Garoppolo on the offensive side of the football to the defensive side of the football, the most sought-after free agency cornerback that's set to hit the open market, J.C. Jackson. According to reports, the 49ers expected to be among the teams interested in the premier lockdown cornerback in this year's free agency class. Once again, it's Jordan Schultz on this report. Pat's free agency corner, J.C. Jackson, who's still just 26 years old, will set the market in a big way. Sources say the Bengals, Chargers, Niners, and Dolphins will all have legitimate interest in the All-Pro, among others. And I love J.C. Jackson's story. He was really doubted coming out of the college ranks. Then he goes to New England and ends up being, over time, arguably the best cornerback in the sport. And this past year, that all came to fruition as he had a terrific year. When he was targeted, only gave up a completion percentage of 49. That's extremely elite. 658 yards receiving is what he allowed. He was able to take it to the crib 3 times, and this is really just extraordinary. 8 interceptions and 23 pass breakups. That is why J.C. Jackson is going to set the market. Now, when you take a look at the highest paid cornerbacks per year, is J.C. Jackson going to get paid more than Jalen Ramsey? I think the potential is there for him to get the bag more than Jalen Ramsey, but Ramsey really set the market. $20 million average annual value, followed by Marlon Humphrey at $19.5, Marshawn Lattimore at $19.4, Tre'Davious White making a little more than $17 million, and Darius Slay just shy of $17 million. When you look at the 49ers' needs on this roster right now, there's no question that they need to upgrade the cornerback position, and that might be the most glaring area of need for San Francisco going into free agency. But my team philosophy is this. You don't have to pay top dollar for cornerbacks if you have a really good pass rush. And this past year and going into 2022, the San Francisco 49ers are loaded along the defensive line. And why is that my philosophy? If you're able to generate a pass rush and opposing quarterbacks don't have time to throw, they don't have time to go through their progressions and pick you apart in that secondary. And nowadays in the NFL, all of the rules do cater to offenses and quarterbacks having success through the air. That's why we're seeing stupid pass numbers this year and in years prior. But my team philosophy, you don't have to pay top dollar for cornerbacks if you have a really good pass rush. Because, again, if that quarterback is under siege, it doesn't really matter what's going on in that back end. And I think the 49ers showed this past year that you can get away with having middle-tier options who you don't have to pay an enormous sum to, like the K'Wan Williams of the world, as well as the Emmanuel Mosleys. Now, would I like to see an addition in the back end for San Francisco? For sure. But am I willing to pay $20 million per year for J.C. Jackson? I think that figure is extraordinarily high, and I just think it prohibits you from building elsewhere on this roster. So you let me know what you would do with J.C. Jackson. Let's say he wants $20 million per year. Would you do it? B for Bagman, P for pass. I'm interested to see where the Niner gang is at because obviously cornerback is a massive need for the Niners. Now, earlier this week, I did say that here on the 49ers Report, I'd give shout-outs to those who gave me a follow on social media. So first, gonna give a shout-out to those who gave me a follow on Twitter. Then I'll pop over to Instagram. P. Warrior, David, 49ers and NFL News 24/7, RFN, Disgruntled Gamer, Tom Driver, Hoss, Wet Noodle 187, The Legend, Ziggy DeLeon, Brian Ganino, Cameron Nia, Carrington, L. Captain, Rusty, Jeff Wakefield, George Sturgis, Waya Madbro, Elvis Music, Monte Neal, DJ, Joey McKenna, Deadman, Kyle Casterline, Eddie Fielden, Rob Swinga, Javier, Jonathan, Guy Rudiger, Ace Barnes, Jake Gall, Ryan Brodo. Appreciate all of you for giving me a follow on Twitter. As for those who gave me a follow on Instagram, you can find that handle down below, by the way. It's at Chase_Senior on both social media platforms. Jay and Tish, Shine, David Gounder, Anpu Mine, Zion, Craig Lynch, Jonathan Phillips, Thomas Bridges, George Sturgis, Walter Miller, Jose Roman, Leonard Kells, Darkness, TP, Zach Witt, Philly fans, 806, Billy Rivera, Debdat Dude, Steven, H.E. Rowe, Mari King, Eric Camarillo, Neil Rowland, Elvis, Yvonne, Calvin, Chloe, Bruda, and Jack. Thank you all for your support. And if you want to give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior, going to continue to tweet out the latest Niners news and rumors. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Free agency right around the corner. NFL draft at the back end of April. Nobody's doing what we're doing here on the channel. That's why you got to subscribe and join the faithful family here at Chat Sports as we get closer to 60,000 subs.